Hey everyone, this is Austin Doctor, and welcome back to another review of Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Senpai. And to begin things off, I'm not gonna lie, it's still pretty awkward, and I don't know, I'll talk about this towards the end of the video, but let's get to the actual review. So, we see Saku in his boxers explaining everything to Mei, kind of basically surrendering to her. That's just how it goes with him and their relationship, and Mei actually brings up how Saku doesn't like lying about dating people, such as stuff like that, and he goes, yeah, but he's just trying to justify it, I guess. And we hear him talk about how Kogo's kind of been lonely and talk about her situation and about what's going on, and Mei lets him off the hook for now, and Mei actually decides to leave Suku or Sakuta by himself to figure out how he can be faithful to Mei. And while that's happening, she's actually going to be leaving to film a drama show, which we heard about previously. And this episode kind of gave me the, Darling in the Franxx flashbacks and of stuff I don't know if, I hope they don't go with, but I'll talk about my worries at the end. So, we see, actual Mei start to give clothing to Suku to Kanade for her to wear since she's going to be 15. And of course, Kanade was eavesdropping on both of them, and we see Kanade still a little shy with Mei, and after a little while she actually starts to talk to Mei, and Saku kind of talks about how he's happy about this happening because he hasn't seen her talk to anyone else besides him, and she's always in the house. And we're left with this line that kind of made this entire episode like, oof. Mei said, I hope pretend doesn't turn into serious. And she was referring to the relationship, the fake relationship that, Saku has with Koga. And Saku apparently doesn't get why Mei is upset at all. It's not like the guy she likes is going to fake date a girl. That doesn't make her uncomfortable whatsoever while she's away, that she can't really prevent anything. No. And I guess Saku's kind of smart yet stupid at the same time, but it's just that right there kind of just set that stage of it's very cold and awkward to say the least. And we see Kogo actually thought Saku had a smartphone while she got to the train station, that she made him wait extra 5 extra minutes for her. And I love her quote of, how do people live without smartphones? I'm like, I said that once when I was younger, I guess, but realizing people do. People have flip phones still. It's just, I don't see them often. A very good quote to show how young she is. I guess I thought that was a very interesting quote. I don't know why I liked it so much, but Koga actually seems to follow the crowd because she watched all the videos that her friends have watched, and she wants to keep up with them to be cool, which kind of starts to make sense to why she this entire situation. And we see they actually head to an aquarium first for their date, and Koga takes a picture with Saku and says his eyes look dead, and he kind of just says, yeah, that's just how I am all the time. I'm like, damn, he's dead because he's not with Mei. What? Who said that? That's the truth. Yeah. But Koga recognizes that she follows the crowd, and we saw this with the penguins of how they kind of projected themselves on the penguins they saw at the aquarium, and you kind of see her start to get a little upset because she realizes it's not a good thing. And it was a very interesting thing they did with that, I thought, and I'm impressed. So after they get out of the aquarium, we see Koga kind of talk about how her previous life before she got to high school, her whole middle school kind of life, we saw a photo of it, and she talked about how her father had to be relocated and she had to move to Tokyo. And it starts to make sense to why she doesn't want to be lonely, because she moved from a completely different place to a new place, and you have to make new friends, and that's sometimes a very hard thing to do. And it starts to make sense to why she is who she is. And we see Koga's classmate by herself looking for something, and she kind of... We see when Koga and Saku walk to her, she says, come full circle and acceptable, to Suku, and just I thought that was quite interesting. And I know people are going to just not even bother paying attention to that, but pay attention to that right there. Just saying. And we see that it's June 30th and it's almost July. Koga actually got sick from the time that she helped her friend find the, bracelet. She was looking for her phone, and it was because she fell in the water. And we see how Saku actually has grown since episode 1. He turned from a kind of a bitter old man, I'd say, to a more open, more helpful person. And I thought that was a very good thing to see from episode 1 to episode 5. And it's very interesting to see how they presented it, because he jokes around, but we all know he's not serious about how he'd help anyone if they're in need, because he doesn't want anyone to be like his little sister. He realizes that, and May's the one that made him see that. And we owe May a lot to that. But anyways, Koga actually didn't want to stay home, we found out, because she wanted to keep up with everyone's combo, kind of not be left behind, and that's what she fears. That's her ultimate fear, kind of making her own inner demon. And we see Saku kind of talk about, well, indirectly about May, about how the whole world can hate him, but long as he has one person that he wants that needs him, he can take on the entire world. That's not the exact quote, but I'm summarizing it. And you can see that he really loves May. And after we see Saku go to work, and in the break room we see Koga talk about how May still hasn't replied to Saku's feelings. She hasn't said I love you back to him. And she's trying to play the dirty game, and I don't like it. Koga, though, she's quite interesting, to say the least. After that whole part of, we can tell where she's trying to go with this. She's trying to make this an official thing, because she's starting to develop feelings for, Saku. And we see actually May call Saku at night to check up on him, and we can tell that she's still pissed about the whole situation with Koga and Saku pretend dating, and rightfully so, honestly. That she's rightfully mad, and I know people are going to try to defend that. No, you can't really defend that. Oh no, they're not dating. Well, he confessed his feelings to her already, and come on, you can't just say one thing and go to another. But that's for the end. But going on to that full thing, it was quite an interesting conversation to hear, and you can tell that they like each other. And it's just, watching this arc is painful, and I know people are like, oh, you're just complaining. I'm like, no, they just should have done it in a different way. Instead of, using the prequel, well, pre-sequel kind of thing, or whatever, however you say it, they should have done it accordingly to having the third episode at the end, to kind of chill these feelings out, because, I don't know, it should have been better performed. But I know people are going to argue, oh, that's how the light novel goes. No, the light novel, if you've read it, the first arc that we've read actually was a sequel after all the books were written. So there you go. But it's July 5th, and we see Kanami, Koda, Futaba, and obviously we know about that little love triangle that's going on. And Futaba is kind of like flustered, and Kami is asking where, Saku is, and it was interesting. And we see Saku kind of come out of nowhere to save Kanami and Futaba out of that really, really awkward conversation that was about to develop, but he kind of played around at first. But we see how Saku goes and talks to Futaba again once more about how he hasn't relived any of the days so far, and Futaba thinks since Koga is happy, there's no reason for her to relive those days. There's nothing wrong with it, and so it showed that she wasn't happy with her life previously. That's why she kept reliving it, so she can do it a different way. Henceforth, the lapless demon, or being in a time loop endlessly, like the Endless Eight, until there's something that is done correctly will make it proceed. And all these other timelines that are possible are just crazy, because, as I said in my last video, there can be different ways of how to do this, but so far we only know of one way. That's a little hint, but yeah. But we see, Kunimi's good old girlfriend again attack Saku to leave Kunimi alone again, and to figure out what the relationship between Futaba and Kunimi are. And we go to July 6th, and we see Kunimi ask Saku about how, if he's actually really dating Koga, and apparently there's bad rumors spreading around about her, and we kind of know who's doing it already. And Mei called Saku to let him know about her arrival back, and he didn't call her back, which they kind of have been building up this awkwardness in this episode. And it's July 7th, and we see Koga by herself at the station, basically going to get picked on by the guy she used to like, and he actually picks a fight with good old Suga, and Saku just, he knees him in the shin and kicks him in the face. I'm just like, Then he actually starts yelling at him, saying, why are you spreading these rumors about her, basically? Don't say everything's unfair when you're doing that to others. You have no right to do that. You don't have any right to complain. And I'm like, damn right. That's right. Good on you, Saku. And we see Saku say that, well, at the end of the episode, that Koga can pay him back by just being his friend at the end. And I thought that was a very nice thing, because that's a big, like, hello, he doesn't actually like Koga. And I know people are going to jump the gun of, oh, they're going to end up dating. No, they're not. Don't worry. It's not a harem anime. It's a romance. And yes, it seems that they're building up to something I don't want to happen. I hope they don't go too crazy off course. But going to the final part, I'll talk about what I was just talking about after this. We see Koga is actually very jealous of Mei, because we saw a commercial for her advertisement that she did a while ago for the drink that we saw previously. And that last part kind of bugged me. Not for the fact that we already know Koga likes Saku, but wasn't Mei supposed to do that drama film and the main people were supposed to kiss? That's the thing that kind of just bugged me the entire episode of, we don't know what happened. And we don't know if Mei just went off on being upset about it and did something that she'd regret, kind of thing. And I hope that doesn't happen, because I don't want to see that. Yes, it's an uncomfortable situation. It's a realistic situation, but come on now. Really? You're going to do that to one of the best couples of fall? Don't do that. Be smart with Cloverworks. Then again, I've said so many things about Cloverworks to the point they just want to be ruined. That's how I see it, but I know there's a movie coming out later on, but this episode kind of just set up the tone for the final piece of the arc. Obviously, if you don't know, every 3 episodes a new arc. And this episode was just a very cold and awkward thing, but it was a very good thing at the same time, because we saw Saku kind of raise up to the challenge of protecting other people that are being attacked, and I thought it was good. What were your thoughts on this episode? I know I rambled on quite a bit about it, but I don't know, it just has that weird feel to it. I don't know if I'm the only one that got it through watching this, but it's just, you can tell that Mei isn't happy. That's just the main thing you can get out of it, and I think that's a good thing that the author has perceived that pretty well. So who knows what's going to happen in the next episode. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to spoil it, but we'll see. But anyways, guys, this is Austin the Doctor signing out. Peace.